everybody, JC here from Toy News International and MarvelousNews.com. And today I'm doing another news video. I wasn't going to do another one of these until next week, but a bunch of Marvel Legends news came out today, and so I thought it would be kind of prudent to go on and do one of these, and especially since you seem to like the last one. Now, before I go any further, I do want to kind of stress that none of this information has been 100% confirmed. Hasbro has not been willing to comment on any of this. And until I get that confirmation, I can't tell you that it is 100%. Some of this stuff that I'm going to tell you is, I would say, I feel about 95% that it's accurate, maybe even a little more. But I just want to stress that you should take this all with kind of a grain of salt until we get official confirmations on it. And one of the reasons why, even though a lot of this revolves around actual images that have surfaced, images can be faked. We've got, there's tons of talented customizers out there, and you can do wonders with Photoshop. So, it's hard to tell what's real and what's not. So again, I'm going to stress that most of this is probably legit, but we don't know 100%. And reason why I state that is because, like, you may recall a couple weeks ago when sites started reporting that the Black Panther figure was going to be a Walgreens exclusive, and people insisted that it was going to be Walgreens. And even finally it was getting to the point when, like, Robot Kingdom even listed as a Walgreens exclusive. I was assuming that that was the case. But now it turns out if these latest images that surfaced that came out today are legit, which I tend to believe they are, then it's actually not going to be a Walmart exclusive or Walgreens exclusive. It's going to be a Walmart exclusive. So that's why I stress these things. There's a lot of rumors that fly. A lot of people think, they make assumptions on social media, and then all of a sudden, what's a rumor starts getting reported as fact. That being said, the big news today was the reveal of a new Groot figure, a 6-inch scale Groot, which apparently looks like is going to be a Toys R Us exclusive. So this image first showed up on an eBay auction, and the auction itself seemed maybe a little questionable. Certainly caused me to question. At first, when I first saw the image, it looked pretty legit, but as I said, things can be faked. And then there was in the fine print on the eBay auction, there was something about the figure containing handmade parts. And then the seller was indicating like somebody had sent him the picture and he didn't actually have the figure in hand. And then the selling of the figure, the figure only sold for like $25, which generally when somebody gets their hands on a Marvel Legends first like that and sells it on eBay, it usually goes for at least double what retail is, if not triple or quadruple the price. So the fact that it only sold for $25 was very odd. But I did reach out to that eBay seller, and they do, at least to me, have said 100% it's legit. Now again, they could be lying, but they have at least told me, so there's no question that they at least are saying that it is 100% a real action figure, not a custom figure. And they sent some images, which you can see here. The quality of the images for some of these is not the greatest, and I am hoping to maybe soon get some better quality images. But as it is, it does look pretty true. And I actually went to a second source who has kind of confirmed this for me as well. And again, I won't, until Hasbro actually confirms it, I won't say that it is 100% confirmed. But this one seems to be legit, even though when the image first surfaced, there was some definite questions about it. But anyway, so the figure looks to be a repackaged Build-A-Figure Groot from the Guardians of the Galaxy movie line, only it's got a new head sculpt. It's got like a smiling head sculpt. And then also included is a baby Groot, which I believe has been repackaged. I think was in the Entertainment Earth box set, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm pretty sure we've gotten this baby Groot before. But then the other figure that we're getting is what I call Kid Groot, which is Groot from the upcoming second Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 movie. And that is definitely new. So while the figure is mostly a repack, it does have a new head sculpt, and then you get that new Kid Groot figure. Now I don't have price. It's sold on eBay for $25. Like I said, I would find it hard to believe if Toys R Us sells it for that cheap. It is basically a Build-A-Figure, and so I would think it might even go for $30. But probably at least 25 is what it's going to retail for. But I don't have that information. All I have is what it sold for on eBay. But based on the image, it's got the Toys R Us exclusive sticker, and my other source also kind of confirmed it as a Toys R Us exclusive. So that looks like where it's going to show up. Now the same person that was selling this figure also had a number of other auctions up for unreleased figures. So as I mentioned before, the Black Panther figure, a lot of you all thought it was going to be a Walgreens exclusive. I thought maybe it might be, and then it wasn't really until Robot Kingdom, like I said, had listed it that I was kind of, okay, I guess it is going to be a Walgreens exclusive. But it turns out that, at least again, if this image is legit, that this is going to be a Walmart exclusive. So we've seen basically the image of the figure and everything. We just never saw it with the Walmart exclusive sticker on the front there. And then the final thing is we got our first look of the upcoming Invisible Woman figure. So this was announced at San Diego Comic-Con. We saw a screenshot on one of Hasbro's slides for the figure, but we haven't actually seen the actual in-hand figure yet. So this is really kind of our first real look at the figure. And then also it looks like this figure is going to include a H.E.R.B.I robot pack-in. So back in the Toy Biz days, we got a H.E.R.B.I robot with the Fantastic Four box set that they did, and now it looks like Hasbro's going to give us one as well. H.E.R.B.I was, for those of you not familiar with H.E.R.B.I, H.E.R.B.I was originally created for the old, I think, 70s Fantastic Four cartoon. Basically, they didn't feel comfortable in having the Human Torch on the team because they were afraid kids were going to light themselves on fire. So they replaced the Human Torch with this H.E.R.B.I robot, and that's where he originated from. Now, he's been in the comics and stuff since then, but that's how he originated, was basically they didn't want kids setting themselves on fire. So that's an interesting set. Now this I am telling you because this is what I've heard, but I have no real confirmation whatsoever on this. So this take a total grain of salt, but I've heard that this is going to be a Walgreens exclusive, this Invisible Woman figure. So like I said, take that with a total grain of salt at this point, because I have no real confirmation from anywhere of that. And then other tidbits of news we have, so the Guardians of the Galaxy wave, which I talked about the other day, the March 3rd release date still seems to be solid for here in the United States, but as I mentioned in that video, I wouldn't be surprised if it showed up other places beforehand. And well, no sooner did I say that, and it's already showing up on eBay. From Thailand, I believe, was where the seller originated from. Now, they're only selling the Star-Lord figure, but they show images of the entire wave in hand. And right now, they're the only person that has it up, you know, even any traces of it up on eBay. But I would expect we'll start seeing more here in the coming days. And then the other news I have is in regards to the upcoming X-Men Warlock Build-A-Figure wave. So we've got this image of the package, the back of the package, showing, you know, basically how the Build-A-Figure pieces break down. And it looks like Old Man Logan is not going to have a Warlock Build-A-Figure piece. He's the only one in the series that won't have a Build-A-Figure piece. The others will. I'm guessing that Old Man Logan is probably going to be the figure that's 2 per case. I don't know that for sure. I'm trying to get that information and should have it hopefully next week. But I don't know how the case breakdown is yet. I do know that on the Guardians of the Galaxy wave that Star-Lord, the Star-Lord figure, is going to be 2 per case. Now with the X-Men, like with the Guardians of the Galaxy, we can expect that to start hitting overseas very soon in Taiwan. I expect it to basically in the next couple of weeks, we should probably start seeing that pretty soon. So, you know, as I kind of feared, all these waves are going to essentially kind of start dropping all at one time. We just got the Spider-Man wave, the Sandman Build-A-Figure wave, and now we're going to be getting Guardians of the Galaxy and then X-Men. Now again, these are overseas, so here in the United States it may be a little more spread out, I don't know. And then we of course got the Walmart exclusive Black Panther, which we know overseas will start shipping February 1st, and then we also have the Invisible Woman, which I suspect will start shipping overseas very soon. Have no idea when we'll see it here in the United States. Oh, I guess one other thing I'll touch base. This eBay seller also has the 12-inch Marvel Legends Deadpool, which we also first saw at San Diego Comic-Con. So if you're into that 12-inch line, that looks like that's going to be start hitting here soon as well, which really isn't, that's what I was pretty much expecting, is we'll probably see it here in the United States in February time, or yeah, February, maybe early March, but looks like it's starting to drop overseas as well. So that is basically going to wrap it up here. I've got quite a few things coming up to review for you next week. I'm hoping if I can get to it. Some of you asked if I could do a top 10 Marvel Legends list. So I'm going to try and shoot for that for this weekend, so maybe Sunday. So stay tuned for that if you're interested to see what my top 10 favorite Marvel Legend figures for 2016 are. And then for next week, I've got a number of things to review. So I've got just arrived today from the folks at Storm Collectibles, their new 112 scale Ryu, Street Fighter Ryu figure. So I'm going to be getting a review of this up sometime probably by mid next week. So I'm looking forward to checking this one out. And then I still got these SH Figure Arts Star Wars figures, Rogue One Star Wars figures. I've got the Death Trooper and the Scarif Stormtrooper. Originally I was going to try and get at least one of these up today, but I just ran out of time. So hopefully probably look for these maybe on Monday. And then also coming up next week, I should have in hand, I don't have them yet, but I should have them in hand early next week, is the new Mafex Suicide Squad Joker figure and the SH Figure Art Suicide Squad Harley Quinn figure. So definitely looking to get reviews of those up next week as well. So I hope you guys check all those out. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about the latest Marvel Legends news. I look forward to reading your comments. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.